I kicked my house guests out 11 hours before their flight is scheduled to leave. My buddy Kevin and his wife showed up at our place Friday morning. I took the whole day off work to pick them up from the airport at 6 in the morning because their cheap flight landed early. My husband made breakfast. I had cleaned the guest bathroom the night before and put out the fancy towels we only use when people visit. Kevin immediately started talking about how excited he was to stay through Monday night. I reminded him right there in the kitchen that they needed to be out by 8 Monday morning. He laughed like I was joking. His wife Janet just scrolled on her phone. The weekend was fine at first. We took them to this barbecue place Saturday that everyone talks about, paid for their meals because Kevin kept saying he forgot his wallet in our guest room. Sunday we drove them to the lake and I packed a whole cooler of drinks and sandwiches. Kevin ate 4 sandwiches. Janet complained the entire time that it was too hot outside. Sunday night after we got back, Kevin brought up Monday again. He was sitting on our couch with his feet on our coffee table. He said since their flight was not until 11 at night, they would just hang around our house all day. Maybe we could take them to that outlet mall an hour away. Maybe order pizza for lunch and Thai food for dinner. I told him no. I said I took Monday off to rest, not to keep hosting. He could leave his suitcase in our garage if he wanted to go do stuff on his own, but they had to be gone by 8 in the morning. Kevin got annoyed. He said it made no sense for them to leave that early when their flight was so late. He said the later Monday flight saved him $200, and it was not a big deal for them to just relax at our place. Then he mentioned he would need a ride to the airport because airport parking was $30 a day, and he was not paying for an Uber. I reminded him that I would have to feed them lunch and dinner, drive them around if they wanted to go anywhere, entertain them for 15 hours. He shrugged and said we were friends, so it should not be a problem. Monday morning, I woke up at 6, made coffee. Kevin and Janet were still asleep in the guest room. At 7, I knocked on their door and told them they had 1 hour to get ready and get out. Kevin opened the door in his boxers and asked what I was talking about. I said exactly what I told him. They needed to leave by 8. He said I was being ridiculous, that they were going to stay until it was time to go to the airport. I told him I was serious, and if they were not out by 8, I would put their stuff on the front porch. Janet finally came to the door and asked if I was really kicking them out. I said yes. Kevin tried arguing, said I was a bad friend, said he would not have booked this flight if he knew I was going to do this. I told him I said this multiple times before he even booked the tickets and reminded him again Sunday night. He ignored me every single time. At 7:50, they were still packing. Kevin was slamming drawers in the guest room. Janet was crying in the bathroom. I stood in the hallway with my arms crossed. At 8:02, I started carrying their bags to the front door. Kevin yelled at me to stop touching his stuff. I opened the front door and put everything on the porch. They finally came out. Kevin said he could not believe I was doing this. I asked if he needed a ride to a coffee shop or the library where they could wait. He said no. Janet was crying harder now. They called an Uber and sat on my porch with all their luggage waiting for it. The Uber showed up 15 minutes later. Kevin did not say goodbye. Janet looked back at me like I had just killed her dog or something. They left. I went inside and cleaned the guest room, washed the sheets and towels, vacuumed, made myself a sandwich and sat on the couch watching TV. My husband came home from work at 3 and asked how it went. I told him they left at 8:15 and the house was already back to normal. He said good. Kevin texted me that night from the airport saying I ruined their trip and cost him extra money because they had to sit at a Starbucks for 9 hours buying overpriced food and drinks. I did not respond.